Today on Power Axe, we're doing U-joints, but we're using a ball joint press. Now, in past videos, I've shown several ways of changing out U-joints and drive shafts and axle shafts. But what I haven't shown is the same tool you do ball joints, you can also do U-joints. So let's get the show on the road. Now, the first thing we need to do, get the snap ring out. Get you a flathead screwdriver or whatever you can get in there. Tap on that edge, because sometimes that snap ring gets lodged inside that groove. They can be kind of a bear to fish out of there. There we go, got broke loose. And give it a little twist. Most times they'll walk right out, just like that. Now we do the other side. Now you want to be careful too if you're tapping them out like to break them loose. See how it rolls up out of the groove right there? Sometimes a bad boy come flying out of there. Well, I thought that was going to be one easy shot, but it broke. So here's what we're going to do. So then we take your flat screwdriver or whatever it is you're using, give it a little tap. Look at that. Sometimes you need to go all the way around. You may have to take and punch it to make it twist or whatever it is you need to do just to get it broke loose from inside that groove right there. Because they can just about weld themselves in, seems like. Now notice on the ball joint press, this hole right here, that's normally where you would take the ball joint where the spindle sticks up and goes through there. Well, look at that. It's a good fit right over top of the U-joint cap. Yes. So we'll rotate this baby over like this. Set that there. We'll run this in until we can press the caps out. Okay, notice I've got this right here, touching on the cap here. The center of this hole right here is lying on this ear, but it's centered on that cap to allow that cap to be pushed out this way. So just be sure whenever you start cranking pressure, before you start cranking pressure, that cap is going to come through that hole in the middle of this. Allow me to show you what I mean. You can see the jack shaft is pushing right into that cap there. It could have been centered a little better. And over here, you see how the U-joint cup will come right up through that hole right there. So get your breaker bar, or if you got a good strong impact or whatever, put some mojo behind that jack shaft to push that U-joint right on through. Take a big old breaker bar to break that sucker loose. You can see right here that the caps have moved a little bit. Now I'm going to switch over to a ratchet to push it on through, but you can use an impact or whatever you feel froggy. So we got the cap pushed through, and how many of you see that I made a little bit of a boo-boo? I can deal with it, but the grease fitting is right here, so it's right against this ear here, which is going to make that a bit of a fun to get up out of there. What I should have done is push the U-joint that way. Grease fitting here, push the U-joint that way. It gives you more room to get the caps out, and then once you get this cap off, it'll slide through that way easier to remove it, because you won't have that in the way as much. So now we get the U-joint out. I'll be right back. See right there where the cap went through? It worked very well, yes. It works very well. Grab your U-joint cap and pull and wiggle, pull and wiggle. Ta-da! I got my vice grips, got in here and broke that loose. You may have to use a socket. I got lucky and the vice grips worked. So just back out that zerk fitting, grease fitting, and roll it back around. Knock that on through. And you work it out like this. Da-da, it's out. Yay! Now right here, let me zoom in a little bit for you. You see right there, you've got that groove on the inside where the snap ring goes. Tiny flat screwdriver, pick, whatever it is you can get hold of, get inside there and clean that groove very well. Because you want to make sure when you go to put the caps back in, then you put your snap ring in place, that snap ring sits in there solid. Otherwise, a snap ring can pop out, and if it does, it's going to allow the U-joint to walk back and forth inside the ears. Next thing you know, you've lost the U-joint. So clean that groove. took some brake clean and got inside the ears right there. Yeah, I know I should have cleaned the whole yoke, but guess what? I'm not doing it. I just want to sit back together. U-joint, take your caps off. Well, and with this as well. And I've got another paper towel sitting behind me, so we'll sit them back here so they're out of the way and still clean. Feel like I've got that paper towel here. I've got one behind me. I'm setting these on. And break that loose. Keep your rubber seal on there. And there's where your grease fitting goes in. I'm not putting the grease fitting in just yet. Run that all the way through. And notice the shoulder right here. I'm allowing the shoulder here to ride on the inside of that ear. And yes, I know I should clean up the whole yoke because it would be a lot easier and a lot better, blah, 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 blah. Just be careful. Put that on. You can feel it kind of get centered. Push your U-joint up in there. You feel it kind of seat. Let's see if I got enough clearance. Yeah, I do. Right there. Now you don't want to hit on this lip right here too much because that's going to make it difficult to bring a U-joint out if you ever have to later on. So I knocked all the bearings out of this. I'm going to set that on top of that. You can only drive so far to the end of your cross is going to hit the ground right there. Like right about there. It's just about there. Pull that off. See, yep, it's about to hit. And now you can take your U-joint, bring it back through this side a little bit. Bearing cap. And bring your U-joint up into the bearing cap. You feel it kind of get in place, centered. You want that cross up inside that cap somewhat because otherwise you can knock your needle bearings out of whack. And oh boy, if you do that. See, I've got good movement on my cross right here, which means on both sides it's sitting into the bearings well. Okay, put that in there enough to make sure that you're holding your bearings in place. Get right here, put your grease fitting in while you can get to it. Because once you get everything pressed in place, you're not going to have a whole lot of room to play right there at all. Okay, we got our grease fitting installed, and I moved this cross back a little bit so I could get in there a little easier. So now, that thing right there, just going to tap it down a little more. We don't need that bearing cap yet. Bearing cap. And you can see your groove down inside there, so you want to tap it past your groove right there. Let me get my screwdriver. Your groove right there. Zoom in for you. And right there's your groove. Now, like I said, remember, get the thing good and clean, because now we got this bearing cap here down past the groove. You get a little snap ring out. Take your snap ring, set it in that groove. Get you some needle nose. Grab it inside of that and give her a squeeze. And Squeeze it in enough to get it inside that groove, and hopefully it don't fly out and land on the moon. See? I think it'll fly off there sometimes. It'll land on the moon. Let's try this again. It also pinch the crap out of you too if you ain't careful. Get in there. There we go. Yes. And you get in here, give it a little twisty. That's seated good there, it appears to be. Get your screwdriver. Get right here. Tap on the ring, around the groove. And you're good to go. Now, flip your drive shaft over to the other side and notice you can't see your groove as well. Oh no, what do? We take this right here, get right there, give it a tap to drive it on down. Don't hit your fingers. Now we're good. Now the snap ring. Again, make sure you got no debris in there. Again, take your snap ring, set it right inside that groove. Get your needle nose in there. Give her a squeeze and push it down while you're squeezing, and hopefully you don't pinch yourself. There we go. Come on. Here we go. You push, there she goes. She pops in. Go. Take your screwdriver again, or punch, whatever it is you're using. Tap it to make sure the snap ring is fully seated. Yeah, that's how you press out U-joints with a ball joint press. Now you can also install them with a ball joint press if you've got like super tight ears going on. Luckily, these were a perfect fit. They pressed out easily, they pressed in easily. Sometimes you get those drive shaft ears that are pretty daggone snug, and you may have to press them back in with that. So having one of these right here in your rig when you're out wheeling, especially if you do hardcore wheeling where you're subject to bust a ball joint, busting U-joints, whatever, have this tool right here in your rig would not be a bad idea, because you never know. It could be handy. Give you guys a little pointer real quick. Whenever you're hammering that U-joint through and you button it against this clip, whenever you put in that bottom side clip, you'll notice that the cross gets super tight. Here's what you do. Okay, you hammer this way to put it against this clip to give yourself room to put that clip in. Okay, you with me? All right, which means you've pushed this cap through, and now you got pressure of this cap running lower or pushing deeper against this, which is causing all that excessive tightness. So you're pressing hard against the clip here, but you got a little bit slack, a little bit slack on this clip here. So since this cap is one riding high or riding in, take your hammer and don't hit hard. Tap against it, and you'll notice that cross will loosen up. Now you don't want to beat on it hard, you just enough to want to loosen that cross up a little bit and drive the cap down just enough that cross moves nice and freely. And that's how you install the U-joints. Well, Power Riders crew, hope you guys enjoyed that video about how to change U-joints with a ball joint press. Right there is your part number, 5153X, Spicer number. Yeah, I was reading through the viewfinder. I wasn't sure if it looked backwards in the viewfinder. So yeah, 5-153X, universal joint for the YJs. I'll drop a link down below so you guys can pick up the U-joints if you need them. And also the ball joint press, super handy to have around for obviously ball joints and now U-joints. So everyone, if you enjoyed that video, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, leave some cool comments down below. Peace. Later, y'all.